Hey everybody, it's that Rachel. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome. If not, welcome back. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I wanted to do a review of these colored pencils, ARTISTO. I just got them in the mail yesterday, and I took off the plastic because it was reflecting the light oddly into the camera lens, so I didn't think that was very fun. So I haven't really looked inside that much. We'll do the swatch sheet together. I'll talk to you about my thoughts. I've been using a lot of colored pencils lately in my work, and just going back to my origins of colored pencil art, and it's been so fun. And so now I'm trying all these different pencils, and so I thought you guys might want to hear what I think about these in case you're thinking of buying them. I'm not a pencil expert by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not gonna test all these ways. There's some wonderful channels, which I will link below, that do that. But these won the showdown on Coloring Bliss, and she did an amazing job. Her and her husband did this whole video where they tested all of the colored pencils under $30 on Amazon, and this was one of them. And this one is the winner. So that's why I bought it, because I thought, well, if this is the winner and I need more pencils because I'm doing so much pencil work, that I wanted to do most of my practice with the lesser expensive coloring pencils, I'll try these first. I do use the Artix pencils. These are great. I love these pencils. So I have good track records with these, but I've never used lesser expensive pencils before, except for these. So I'm curious how these will turn out. I have zero expectations. Zero thoughts yet, but you'll hear them along the way. Okay, first things first, let's open the box. Oh. Wow, look at that. Can't see anything. Okay, so first off, oh, we have a plasticky thing. That's right, this is the one that had the plastic. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I like that. I'm a fan. Nice swatch sheet. We will fill this in together. I won't make you watch it in slow motion with me. We'll just, you can see me swatch them all, and then I'll show you on the camera what they all look like. Sorry, my dogs are walking in the background, and they have little paws on the hardwood floor, and it's super cute to me, but I don't know if it's annoying to you, so I apologize. This is a little bit of know-how for the company, which different things they have. I have used their paper, this particular book, before, and I do like their watercolor spiral bounds. They're great. I actually get these packs and hand them out to students who are really excited about drawing and coloring and painting, and yeah, that's been really good. They really like those. Plus, it's a really cool cover. And this is all about the pencils. Okay, so it comes with a little booklet with all the colors and a little bit about techniques. This is cool for all the novices out there. You can get a little lesson. Okay, and here are the pencils. Oh, cue music. Okay, first thought as I look at them, beautiful color. Second thought, oh no, they are hexagons. I think that's it, right? Is it hexagon or octagon? I think it's 5 sides. Anyway, I like round pencils. That's personal though, so that's a weird thing in my brain, but maybe everybody else could care less. I don't know why. I'm not a fan of this shape in my hand when I'm drawing, but we are going to look at them and give them a chance. Maybe they will change my mind. Okay, so that's tray one. Beautiful blue. No, that's not blue. That's green, Rachel. Greens, yellows, and reds. Okay. Tray two. Oh, that's pretty. Blues and grays. That's very aesthetically pleasing, isn't it? Boy, opening these are just so fun. Now, there is a little bit of a smell. It's probably the paint on the pencils. It's a paint smell. I'm not sure if that's common or what, but I'm sure it'll go away. I'll just leave them out to air dry or whatever. Yeah, these three look very similar. I wonder, I'll be curious to see how many colors kind of repeat. This is only a 72 set, so it should have a good array, but it looks like some of the barrels are very similar in this section and this section, and in the blues as well. So that should be interesting. That always makes it a little harder when you're trying to grab for a pencil. Of course, if I'm being totally honest, I don't leave my pencils in these. I use them a bunch, and then I pick the ones I like best and I set them into a jar. And that's how I have them separated out for the 12 or 15 that I really love. And most of the time you're not going to use similar shades in the same picture. Not the way I use colored pencils. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Like I said, I'm not an expert. Okay, so there's those. Here we have them. The box, it's cool. It doesn't look like colored pencil, but maybe it is. I don't know. You never know. People are talented. All right, so looks like we have two spots where there are reds. There are reds and yellows, and then there are reds and pinks. And then here are the blues. Okay. So I'll get right back to you. I'm going to set them all out next to me, and then we're going to swatch them out. And we will talk about them and see what we think.
Okay, let's just speed through this here. So I started to do the swatches and I was enjoying the process for the most part. The pencils are fine. I decided to sharpen them as I went. So before I swatched with the pencil, I sharpened it. All the pencils sharpened really well. They got a nice point on them. The point was pretty solid, but I have to say these are very crumbly pencils. Um, None of them were off center. They all had pretty strong cores for the most part. As I was sharpening them, nothing fell off or fell out like you get with a Prismacolor sometimes. That particular pencil that I just showed you was a little bit off center. So sorry, I forgot about that. I had a lot of them. The big thing with these pencils, look at this next one is going to be indigo. I did not really understand the color name choices. You can't really see it. I'm sorry, guys. The indigo got buried to me. That's a purple or a violet um, down at the bottom there. Yeah, that was the first hint that I was not going to be able to see the names as the actual color. So, and you should do that with every colored pencil. You should swatch them out. You should look at them individually and then as a group and sort them out. And if you're going to use them to color in a coloring book or if you're going to use them for art, you need to kind of have them organized in your own personal way anyway. So, the big thing I saw with this set was the crumbliness, like I was saying. I was actually really kind of surprised. They were very chalky, um, and they were opaque for the most part. When you got the full saturation of the color, they were covering up the black in the darker colors, and the lighter colors were kind of fuzzying up the black. But I don't know. I wasn't sure how I felt about them until about halfway through. Just the feel of a pencil is what I look for first. The way that I'm using it is important. for my process, for your process, the way you're using it. Um, so that's what I'm judging it by. I'm not judging it by like, this is a pencil and this is how a pencil should be. I'm thinking, well, I really would not like this if I was doing a drawing. So the chalkiness was really rough. The it was actually kind of dusty, and I was feeling, I have asthma. I'm very, very sensitive to chemicals. I actually started to have a tiny bit of an allergic reaction as I was sharpening them and using them, which I was really surprised about. That was a gold pencil. Um, Sorry, I got distracted. I wanted to point that out. That pencil was actually gold on the paint, but it is not gold. It is not a gold pencil. So I thought that was interesting. You cannot trust the paint on these pencils. It does not match the core at all. The color on the barrel. I mean, sorry, the color on the outside does not match the color of the barrel. Um, yeah, we're coming to the end here, so I'm going to be quiet. But the main thing, because we're going to get into the drawing practically how it was. Main thing with the swatching, it just was very dusty, a little bit of a weird reaction. I think I might actually be allergic to these pencils, sadly enough. But that's no surprise. I'm allergic to half the planet. Just a personal thing. Nothing against Artisto. So I wanted to show you kind of here the way that they looked on the paper. Even when I pressed really hard, they still had a very kind of splotchy feeling to them. You'll see when I get into the drawing how it's not so much. Yeah, here we go. We're going to start drawing now. Um, I drew the main drawing in polychromo, but now we are getting into using the pencils. And I'm so sorry, but the first part of the drawing didn't record properly. So here I'm using a image from Pixabay. I love painting um, kingfishers. Kingfishers are some of my favorite birds. I have one in my backyard. It's not like this pretty orange and blue. It's a blue and a white one, but it's so pretty. And he's my little buddy. I watch him catch fish all the time in the pond outside. But so I love kingfishers. And the vibrancy of the color is so amazing to me. And with watercolor, I've painted it many, many times. And you get that saturation with doing layers. I just could not get the saturation of these pencils up. There were, it was impossible to get darks. I kept checking the swatches to see, is there a darker color? Am I missing something? Um, I tried using for the shadows. I mixed my colors. Um, you can see this is a very rudimentary drawing. I'm not trying to be all fancy. I'm not trying to be realistic. I'm just getting the colors in and the marks on, and I'm trying to just get the idea of the bird and the colors. That's how I mostly do art. I try not to be too weird, and I'm slowing my roll in the realism department. I don't do realism anymore. I liked how I could get the orange to be the right color, or at least the right tone, but I could not get the blues. The dark blues eluded me. I had to pull out my Tombos, as you see here. It was bugging me. I'm sorry, guys. I am a mixed media artist. I don't stick with one media. So this is how I would use the pencil. I would use it with other medium anyway. So anyway, so here we are, and I am cheating. It's just being real. Um, Once I put that on, it really made a huge difference in the color. Obviously, the saturation goes way up. These pencils are not saturated. They are just kind of minimal. And I did not try odorless mineral spirits with them, which I've heard with colored pencils can sometimes help with the saturation. Sometimes not. Sometimes it makes it more muddy. But yeah, I the rest of the drawing process is not going to be with the pencils. my allergies were just acting up way too much. I put them on a couple more times for the orange part because I did like how that turned out, and I added a little blue in the beak because I realized it was too purple. I needed more blue. So now I'm going to do the background and just throw on some paint. This is watercolor. And by the way, all the links to all the supplies are in the description. Um, and you'll see I'm also going to, I had to bring up the background because the bird was, I like the, I like the stark contrast. So I just wanted to get, I'm just having fun here. Let's be honest. I'm just playing. I'm having fun now. I'm in my element with the watercolor. I love watercolor, and that's my medium. So I'm throwing in some fun textures and plant life and things to give him a little bit of a surroundings. But I realized here I want to saturate the background more, and I'm not liking the light background with him. He's not standing out enough. So I throw out the Neo color because what else do we do when we're needing some opaque, dark contrast? We get the Neo color out. So I've got my Neo color here, and I'm just going to surround him in some nice greens for the background and give him a solid foundation to show that light around him so that I can get that glow from when I'm doing an image. I look at the reference as a kind of guide. I look at what do I like about this image? What's striking my fancy about it? What am I drawn to in the image? And so a lot of times I'm drawn to color and light. So, and the color is just basically the saturation or the desaturation contrast. And so I'm just looking at that, and that's what I'm trying to replicate. I'm not trying to replicate the whole, every shape and every perfect thing. So here we go. We're pretty much done now. I am just fixing the beak and cleaning it up, and there I have it. I I hope that you can kind of see now through this what I was thinking um, when I was doing the colored pencil and how I felt about the colored pencil. The big verdict to me is I probably would only use these. Well, I wouldn't use them because I'm allergic to them. But if I wasn't allergic to them, I would probably only use these every once in a while, pull them out, with my students and play with them and just kind of teach them about the colors and color mixing. They did mix pretty good. I did not have any muddiness as I was layering over. I like to create with the colored pencils a lot of various colors with each color. So, because I'm a watercolorist, I mix colors. I like translucent medium. So this is kind of my thing. This is my shtick. I just, uh, I just don't know. For me, this was not uh, my cup of tea for pencils. That's very personal. I am extremely particular with my art supplies. I don't collect art supplies. I curate usable tools. So if I'm not enjoying the art supply, if it's not being used, I don't really want the art supply taking up space in my very tiny studio. So I hope this helps, guys. And that's my philosophy for art supplies, to leave you with that. And I am going to put all the links in the description. I hope this was useful to you. If you want to buy budget pencils, I highly recommend the 72 set from Artix. That is my favorite budget pencil. I use those pencils with polychromos. I use them with my Derwent and my Caran d'Ache, and they mix perfectly. Great color choices. Highly recommend. Very user friendly. I'm still on the hunt for a different budget pencil, but if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? Coming up, we're going to have two more colored pencil reviews. I've got Ohuhu and I've got Woomer, and we will be enjoying that. Get some more drawings in, and we'll have some fun talking about art supplies. Okay, thanks for following me on my very interesting or very boring, whichever. If you've made it this far, you probably don't think it's boring, but my very industrious colored pencil journey. Okay, guys, have a great day. God bless.